Welcome back to the Falco restoration. Well, it's not really a restoration, but getting this thing to work. I think the next thing I need to do here is take this tank, or lift it up basically, and have a look at what the wiring is doing going to the fuel pump, see if we've got some voltage going to it, and just see what's wrong basically, because it just doesn't seem to be doing anything. So let's see what we can do there. Gotta get the gloves on for this. Anything you touch on any bike is going to make your hands dirty, so might as well. Right, a couple of 8mm bolts. One thing to note is I have got a plastic tank here, which is good, and I think this is a Gen 2, so this is not susceptible quite as much to the ethanol in the fuel these days, which is a bit of a problem with old bikes, and it's destroying all sorts of things like fuel lines and rubber coated things, so it's best to try and avoid using it if possible. Move this up here. What have we got? Fuel lines seem to be nice and intact. What can you see? Anything out of the ordinary? Tell you what, let me get something wedged under here. Okay, I've just wedged a bit of wood in there so we can have a look. Alright, well, it's a braided fuel line. To be honest, nothing really looks too bad under there. I'm going to reconnect that breather line just down there. That goes into that part there. That'll be coming from the top of the tank, so that's nothing to worry about. So we'll check the wiring. Check the wiring from the fuel pump, because that will be this orange, green and blue. Yeah, that looks all fine, to be honest. Everything looks nice, clean and tidy, untouched. I think this wire is travelling over here. There's your main connector for it, so blue, orange, green, blue, orange, green. One thing I have noticed is there is a bit of insulation tape around here, and that's probably fine. But if I disconnect this again, everything looks fine. Hopefully it's not a dry joint or anything like that. Those look okay. Oh, yeah, it looks practically brand new. One of the joints in here does look a little bit flared out, so what I might do is just put a pick in there and close it up very slightly. I doubt that's the actual issue, but you never know. It's not enough to cause it an issue, I wouldn't have thought. I'll try get that battery in it again and see if we can maybe bring it back to life again. So I've charged this battery, it's holding 12.3 volts at the moment, so again I'm pretty sure this is supposed to go like that and actually hook in there. I'll double check and make sure this is working as well, the tip sensor. Again, nothing. What you can do is just tap on the starter. I don't want to go too mad on it because these sprag clutches can kick back a little bit. So what could be causing this fuel pump issue? The next thing I'm going to try to do is just take out the wiring for the fuel pump and test if I'm getting any voltage from these wires here, and I'm not quite sure which ones I should be testing for, but I would imagine it's probably going to be the blue and the green. Let's see what I'm getting. So let's get them probed in first. Try blue and green. Right, so we are plugged into the wiring here, hopefully negative, positive. If I turn on the ignition now, we should see a spike to 12 volts, or whatever the battery is, probably about 12 volts at the moment, and we should have that for about 4 or 5 seconds usually on the standard map. So I'll turn the ignition on now. Oh, there you go, that should turn off. Yeah, there you go. So that is telling me we are definitely getting voltage to the fuel pump. It's just odd that it's not working. What I might just quickly do is have a look at what's behind here, because I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest, but from the blue and the green we are getting our 12 volts that we need to get this thing started, get the fuel pump started. It doesn't seem to be doing anything after that. Yeah, I don't think this was anything. This was just a bit of insulation tape. It wasn't really doing a lot there. Okay, what I might next do is just test the connection. So once it's actually plugged in, I'll see if it's getting what we need here. Okay, so that is plugged in now. 8 volts. Why are we only getting 8 volts? Okay, I would imagine because this is still plugged into the fuel pump, we're getting a bit of, it's trying to deliver the voltage to the, what I'll try to do is get my jump pack on and see if that makes any difference at all. I very much doubt this is going to do anything, but it's worth a try. Let's try the same test again. 11.3 volts. Something's blocking that from getting the full 12 volts, so I think the fuel pump motor is possibly jammed. Okay, sit rep. We are definitely getting voltage to the fuel pump here. It's definitely making its way to the actual fuel pump itself, and I feel like it's trying to start something on the fuel pump, but it's just not going for some reason. So we're going to have to take the fuel pump off, which means taking the tank off, taking the fuel pump out and having a look, and probably changing all the seals as well, I would imagine, if they are not too healthy. Just smelling the fuel in here, it's not great, to be honest. It does not smell fresh in the slightest, so I would imagine this fuel has been sitting in there for such a long time. It's just gunged up on the fuel pump itself, and possibly we're going to need a new one. But let's find out. Where can I put you where you're not going to get in the way of me? These can come out nice and easy. I'll take these off from the tank. Trying to be gentle, although it is metal, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know how well you can see that. That tube is nasty. This is just one of those CPC quick connects, quite popular. You see them on Daytonas a lot of the time as well, and hopefully this doesn't piss out on me, but these should be a one-way. Sometimes the seals off, and these can be a little bit tight. And if it's the wrong type of fuel, they can swell as well. I think we're okay here though. You can see all these little bits and pieces coming up. This is just gummed out fuel, I think. That does not bode well. I might need to redo all these fuel lines, clean them all out. Absolutely reeks as well. Next thing to undo is this bolt here, which looks like it's a 17. Although, Italians, what would they do? It is a 17, so I've got to undo this. We've got some lock washers in there. This is going to piss out, I would imagine. Yeah, that is pissing out. Like I thought it would. And it absolutely stinks as well. Well, that tends to help things, doesn't it? The whole tank can flip up, which actually makes this job a lot easier. So when this does start pissing out, I don't think it's completely full, to be fair, but if it does, I'll be able to catch some of it at least. There you go. If you're going to use a ratchet spanner, actually use the ratchet spanner the way it was intended. I'll tell you what, it wasn't very full. Let's grab these washers before they go missing. All I can tell you is this is the worst smell. See if we can scope up some of this fuel that's been leaking out here. Yeah, look at that colour, man. That is awful. That certainly looks like fuel that's been sitting for 21 years, doesn't it? And it smells awful, man. Okay, I've just spent the last 10 minutes draining some horrible stinky fuel. And it was pretty bad condition, so now I'm going to take the fuel pump out of this tank and see what we can find. Apologies for the noise. I've had to put my extractor on because the smell is pretty awful. Oh, they are on there pretty tight. Let's get a bit of leverage. Nah, that's okay. Go 1, 2. And you know what? I'm going to put a rag down here because I know what happens. Doesn't matter how much you've drained it, you can never drain it enough. Put these in a place I can remember them. What I'll do is just put that under there. I'm going to have a slight problem here. Hopefully I can be quick. Right, it's nearly gone now. No, but seriously, if you are going to be working on fuel stuff like this, disconnect the battery, you idiot. There's cable back here and over, and this should just pop out nicely now. Oh shit. Well, I know why it's not working. You're going to see in a minute. Right, so this is the fuel pump, as you can see. That is your rubber fuel line that's supposed to be connecting your fuel pump to the whole high pressure system. As you can see, the rubber is just literally melting away. There you go, it's gone now. And that is what happens if you leave fuel sitting for a long time, especially if it's got a lot of blended ethanol content, because it just eats away at this stuff so badly. It just becomes mush. I'm surprised the seal's actually okay, to be honest, for the fuel, for the pump itself, but I think this is just potentially ruined. I mean, I'll try and get it to work, but it's just, this whole rubber line has become malleable. It's not rubber anymore, it's just become Play-Doh. It's the old fuel that's been sitting in there for such a long time, it's just turned to mush. I'm going to have to get a new fuel pump at this rate, and a new filter, and some new fuel lines. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little bit annoying. When you look at the tank as well, you look at that fuel, it's just turned to sludge at this point, so I'm going to try and give this a good clean out and just hope for the best, really. So from my point of view, I mean, this is just an absolute joke, you know. This is never going to work properly, and that probably explains what's been going on here. So we're getting voltage and the fuel pump's trying, but there's nothing to, you know, it's all gunked up, it can't even turn the motor, so I really doubt this pump's even salvageable at this point, so I think a new one's going to be a must. I'll try my best to salvage it, but I just don't think it'll be worth it at this point. It's just absolutely caked, but we'll see what we can do. Don't have too much hope here. I think we're going to have to get a new one, but you can see where all the lines have just bulged out here, where it's just swelled and become horrible. As I said, I'm not sure how this seal has survived, because usually they tend to go as well. Just trying to clean this fuel tank, get rid of this sludge. Might be a bit difficult to do. It's almost really discolored the actual fuel tank itself, so there's actually no petrol in there. It's just, yeah, it's just fully discolored it. Luckily the tank is pretty unaffected by this petrol. I have seen some projects where they've used the new E10 fuel, and what happens is the actual tank starts expanding. The plastic starts actually warping. As it's lovely and dry, I'll just hoover this out. You can see from these pipes, these two outputs here, you've got pipes that run all the way across here. I can feel there, if I put my hand through the tank, I can feel they're perfectly intact. They haven't been damaged by the any of the fuel. Using a bit of IPA, you can normally get rid of a bit of gummed up material that's dirtying everything. I'm going to try my best to do what I can do for this. I have a feeling it's going to need a new pump completely. Just look, oh man, it's not even rubber anymore. It's just, as I said, it's just Play-Doh at this point. It's just an absolute joke. Gross. I've seen this before on an old Triumph Daytona 600, exactly the same thing, that all the rubbers just completely disintegrated exactly like this. So that was a complete replacement job as well. The other thing is, you can't just put normal, you know, fuel resistant fuel lines on these things. You have to use, because the inside's fuel resistant but the outside isn't, so the outside will literally start peeling away and you'll be left with a braided outer, and the inner would be fine, but it just turns into this again, and then it eventually clogs up the system. So you've got to use expensive fuel line that's rated for both in and out. It's going to be submerged. To give you an idea of how bad this line is, like, I should not be able to, oh, it's got some fuel flowing at least, but I should not be able to mold it like this. Definitely need a new fuel filter. Look at that crystallized fuel. I'll be a little bit careful here, the fuel level sensor as well. That should just pop off now. What we've got left is this inlet rubber here has just turned into goo. That is absolutely gone. Become chewing gum. Oh no, this is probably your return line, and the high pressure line is this line over here, which then goes through that there. There you go. Can go there. Just like that. There you go. Right, the whole cylinder comes off there. So this is the fuel pump, the bottom of the fuel pump. You've got the filter here, which is very deformed. So this must just pop out nice. There you go. Like that. And then you've got this main section here. And this is your main fuel pump assembly here. I don't know if this is worth saving, you know. I don't think I can save this. It's just so done for, isn't it? Don't know if there's residual fuel that's been left in this pump for all those years. Any rubber components in the actual pump itself will have just disintegrated as well, potentially. So I just don't know if it's worth me trying to save. Everything else looks salvageable to a certain degree, but definitely not the fuel pump, definitely not the fuel filter as well. Well, there you have it, people. That is our culprit, and I think a new one of these is definitely required, and also a new, oh god, this fuel just coming out, a new one of these also, fuel filter, and some braided fuel line that's able to be submerged in the new type of fuel. Although I'm never going to use the new fuel in this, I'm always going to use E5 if I can, because it's just not worth the risk. I think I'm going to end the episode there, and when we next come back, we'll have a look at a new fuel pump, and we'll clean everything up on this assembly and put it all back together and see if we can get this thing started. But yeah, I'm glad we found the problem, or at least we think it's the problem. But yeah, thanks for watching.